and we have studied the change of scale property. We have studied the linearity property. We have studied the effect of multiplication by t, and also we have studied the effect of division by t. Okay, so we have solved some problem based on these properties. Let us try to solve some more problems based on these properties, and then we'll go to the next properties. Okay, so let's start with more example. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible to you all. Okay, so we'll try to solve more examples based on the previous properties that we have studied. So write down an example. Find Laplace transform of f of t is equal to cos of at upon t. Okay, so clearly we can see this is the example of division by t property. Okay, okay. So we know that this is going to be the example of division by t property. So what we can have is let us solve this. So let f of t is the function cos of at upon t. Okay, so as we know, we have to solve this problem into two steps. One, we have to consider numerator, and two, we have to consider the property division by t. Okay, so let us try here. What you can have is, see, we have what will be having Laplace of cos of 80. Okay, so what is Laplace of cos of 80?
S by s square plus a square.
Correct. So you'll be having s upon s square plus a square. Okay, so that's what we have, the Laplace transform of cos of 80. That means we have considered the Laplace transform of the numerator. So step one is completed. Now we have to think of step two. Okay, so let us have then consider Laplace transform of f of t. So what that is going to be? Laplace transform of cos of t upon t. Okay, this is what we want to find. Okay, now we can have, because of the division by t property, we can have the integral s to infinity. What we know is, we know Laplace transform of f of t upon t is equal to integral s to infinity. Then we have f bar of s ds. Okay, this is the property that we have, and hence we have to consider the Laplace transform of the numerator, which is f bar of s. So let's have this. What is the Laplace transform? We have s upon s square plus a square ds. Okay, that's what you'll be having. Now we have to integrate this. So you have the formula for integration as integration f dash of x upon f of x dx is equal to log of f of x. So this is the formula we have. So here in the numerator we have s square in the denominator we have s square, and in numerator we have s. So the derivative of s square is 2s, and hence we have to adjust 2 here. So 2 is being scalar. How we are able to adjust? Multiplying by half, okay, and then multiplying by 2 in the numerator. So 2s upon s square plus a square ds. And now you can see this formula is applicable here. So we are able to use this formula, and hence we get half of log of the denominator s square plus a square, and here s is running from 0 to infinity. Okay, so here most of the student commit mistakes, so that's why this step is very important. Okay, so you need to be careful while using the limits. Okay, the moment you write log of infinity, then you will get infinity, and then entire right hand side becomes infinity. So that's why we have to be careful, and hence we cannot write log of infinity here. Okay, so what we can do is we can write limit p tends to infinity log of p square plus a square minus log of s square plus a square. Okay, so this is how you have to write the expression. Now we have to be careful. What about this term? Because this term is very good. It is going to be finite, so we don't have any problem with this term. And moreover, this is in the division, which is non-zero, so that is also okay. So we have the problem with this term. What we are finding here, we are finding the Laplace of f of t. Okay. Now we have the question. Okay, what is this limit? Okay, so clearly we can have clearly this limit does not exist. Okay, and hence we have to be careful. Okay, so that's what we can have. Now this limit that what we have calculated up to 8, okay, this limit does not exist, and hence we can write this as, so the limit p tends to infinity log of p square plus a square does not exist. Okay, so this limit does not exist. Okay, so if this limit does not exist, that means this we are not able to evaluate. So entire right hand side we are not able to evaluate, and hence we say Laplace transform f of t does not. Okay, so actually what we were calculating, we are calculating Laplace transform. So we can say Laplace transform of cos of at upon t does not. Okay, so here the question was to find the Laplace transform of cos of at upon t, but what we proved that the Laplace transform of cos of at upon t does not exist. So is there any doubt in this example? Okay, so don't have any doubt in this example. Okay, that's great. Okay, so one thing you need to be careful. Okay, if you have more than one expressions in the numerator, then you should be careful. Okay, so as I told you already, you should not uh, take the partial fraction in this case, or you should not divide the numerator into smaller terms. Okay, so you should not separate the terms in the numerator. Okay, let us try the another example. Okay, so we'll go with the one more example, and here see how the terms behave. Okay, so we go with the another example. Find Laplace transform of cos of at minus cos of vt upon t. So we go with the solution. Let f of t is equal to cos of at minus cos of vt upon t. And here, as usual, the first step and the second step. Okay, so looking at the example and the previous example, you can claim that the Laplace transform of this does not exist. Okay, so that is very obvious if you look at the previous example and if you look at this example. So we can have in the previous example, we proved that the Laplace transform of cos at upon t does not exist, and these are in the numerator cosine terms only. And then you can say that the cosine terms are divided by the t, and hence the Laplace transform does not exist. Okay, so let us try to prove or disprove what we claim. Okay, so let us see. One thing you need to understand, when you have something in your mind, okay, don't be in hurry to conclude. Okay, so we have to think what is going to happen. So as I have marked here the number of steps and what are the steps that we have to follow. Okay, so we need to work accordingly. Okay, then what we'll be having here. Okay, so we have, okay, what we have here, Laplace transform. As I have told you already that this is a very important. Do not separate the terms in the numerator. Okay, so please be careful. Very important. Do not separate the terms in the numerator. Okay, so what we have here, cos of at minus cos of bt, and hence we get here s upon s square plus a square minus s upon s square plus b square. Okay, so using linearity property, we are able to get this easily. Okay, so your step one is completed. Okay, now we consider. Okay, so what we consider, Laplace transform of f of. So what will be having, Laplace transform of cos of at minus cos of bt upon t. That's what we have. Okay, and hence what will be having here. So this is equal to, because of t in the denominator, we have to take the integral s to infinity and Laplace transform of the numerator. So we have already calculated s upon s square plus a square minus s upon s square plus b square, and be careful that this integral is with respect to s. Now, as we have done an argument in the previous example, so multiply and divide by half. So it will be having integral s to infinity, and here you get 2s upon s square plus a square minus 2s upon s square plus b square and ds. Okay, so that's what you'll be having here now. Okay, so what will be integral of this? So it is going to be half of this again log of s square plus a square minus log of s square plus b square, and here you will be having s to infinity. So what we know is log of a minus log of b is equal to log of a by b. Okay, so this is what we are aware of. Please don't be in hurry to apply the limits. Okay, because the moment you write here log of infinity, this will vanish. Okay, so this limit does not exist, and hence have the patience. Okay, so you'll be having log of s square plus a square upon log of a square plus b square, and you will be having limit s to infinity. Now, as in the previous case, I have taken this limit, so half of. Okay, the question is, what happens if I take s is equal to infinity? Okay, so see here what you'll have if I take this as infinity. Okay, so what you have to solve is you have to solve limit s tends to infinity s square upon a square s square plus a square plus a square upon a square plus b square. This is equal to limit s tends to infinity s square I can have common. I'll be having 1 plus a square upon s square, and here I'll be having s square 1 plus e square upon s square. Okay, and this is equal to, okay, I'll be having this as, okay, okay. So what you'll be having here, this term is equal to limit s tends to infinity. So this is equal to limit s tends to infinity 1 plus a square by s square upon 1 plus b square by s square. Okay, so that's what we have. Now let us see. This is equal to, okay. So what I'll get here, see, it is limit. If I put s square now, limit of s now, okay, what I'll get here is 1 plus 0 upon 1 plus 0, and that is equal to 1. So see here, when you put s is equal to infinity, okay, so what we got here, we got the limit s tends to infinity s square plus a square upon a square plus b square, and that is equal to 1. Okay, now if I use this one here, okay, because I want to use the this term, then I'll replace s by infinity. Okay, so if I replace s by infinity here, then I am getting this term is equal to 1. So what we get here, we'll get log of 1 minus, you are using lower limit, so log of s square plus a square upon s square plus b square, and that's what you get. So if you write straightforward log of infinity in this step, then you may be trapped into a problem. But if you simplify this properly, then definitely you are going to get the answer. So here we'll get half of log of 1 is going to be 0. This is going to be minus log of s square plus a square upon s square plus b square, and then we can have this is equal to minus half log of, here I'll get s square plus a square upon s square plus b square. That's what you'll be having. And now you can see we can observe this minus sign, and we can write this as half of log of s square plus b square upon s square plus a square, and this is what we have obtained, Laplace of f of t. So actually we were finding the Laplace transform of cos of at minus cos of bt upon t. So we got here half of log of s square plus b square upon s square plus a square. Now you can see, okay, so initially what are the cases that we have considered, that maybe the Laplace transform of this function does not exist, but actually it exists, and hence if you solve the steps carefully, definitely you are able to get the Laplace transform for this function. And so what is the important thing that you need to understand here? Okay, so as I told you, do not separate the terms in the numerator. So if you would have separated the terms in the numerator here, you would have got the answer does not exist. So actually the term which exists, you will reach to the claim that it does not exist. And hence the most important thing in this property is that do not separate the numerator. So treat numerator as one entire term, and then only you are able to get the correct answer. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, so I hope you don't have any doubt uh, in this example. So do you have any doubt in this example? Okay, that's great. So you don't have any doubts up to it. Fine. Okay, so we'll move on to the next example. Okay, so as we can see, we may have one more example. Let us see one more example. Okay, now I want you to write with me. So let's have the example. Okay, I'll write here. Okay, so write down an example. Find Laplace transform of e raised to minus at minus e raised to minus bt upon t. Okay, so this is what the function is. So let us try Laplace. We have to find out first. We have to write the function. What is the function given to you? So let f of t is e raised to minus et minus e raised to bt upon t. Okay, so as I told you, think of the example, then the steps which you have to follow, and then evaluation. Okay, so here we have, these are the two steps that we have to follow. Okay, so let us try. What we have is, we have Laplace transform. As I have told you already that do not separate the terms in the numerator. So numerator we have to treat it as one term. Okay, so e raised to minus at minus e raised to minus bt, and what you got here? You got this is 1 upon s plus a minus 1 upon s plus b. So you have the Laplace transform of e raised to at and e raised to minus at. So you can use this formula directly here. What is the formula? We have we have Laplace transform of e raised to minus at is 1 upon s plus a, and what we know is e raised to Laplace transform of e raised to at is equal to 1 upon s minus a. So using this formula we are able to get this one, and now we have to follow the second step. So now we consider Laplace transform of f of t. So it is going to be Laplace transform of e raised to minus at e raised to minus bt upon t. Okay, and hence what you have here, you have this is equal to. So due to the property division by t, I'll be having integral s to infinity, and then the Laplace transform of the numerator. So 1 upon s plus a minus 1 upon s plus b, and this is ds. Okay, now let us integrate. So I want you to tell me what will be the integration of dx upon x plus a. So what this integration is?
Log of s plus a
Correct.
minus
So
x
it is
plus
yes, log of x plus a. So plus c is a constant when we don't have the limits, but in our case we have the limits here. So we don't have to care about this plus c, the constant of integration. And hence, what I'll get here, I'll get log of s plus a minus log of s plus b, and the limit is s to infinity. So as I told you, we have to be careful. Do not be in hurry. So what we get here, this will be log of s plus a upon s plus b. So please write properly and use proper brackets. So that is very much important while writing the mathematical expressions. So you have to be very careful. And now the question is again, what is the limit s tends to infinity s plus a upon s plus b. So this integral you can solve in two ways. One, whatever we have seen earlier, the either this is the indeterminate form, actually infinity upon infinity. Okay, so this is the indeterminate form, infinity upon infinity, and hence you can use the L'Hospital's rule to evaluate this. Okay, but just a simple thing you can do. Okay, L'Hospital rule, when the expressions you are not able to simplify, then it is very useful. It is useful in the polynomial cases also, but whenever you have the same degree polynomial in the numerator and the denominator, then it is easy to cancel it out. So what we'll get is limit s tends to infinity. Okay, and what I'll have here, see, this is going to be, I can take s common, so I'll be having 1 upon a by s, and in the denominator s common, 1 plus I'll be having b by s. So by cancelling this, we'll get limit s tends to infinity, and we'll be having here, this is going to be 1 plus a by s, and here I'll be having 1 plus b by s. So what you get here, This is going to be 1 plus 0 upon 1 plus 0, and this is going to be 1. So one thing you need to remember, when the degree of a numerator and denominator is going to be same and the constant of highest powers are going to be same, then the limit will always turn out to be 1. Okay, so this limit comes to be 1 whenever you put s is equal to infinity, and hence what we'll get here is this is going to be log of 1 minus you have log of s plus a upon s plus b. Okay, so this term turns out to be 0, and you'll be having minus s plus a upon s plus b. So this term, if you absorb this minus sign, then it becomes s log of s plus b upon s plus a. And hence, what we are finding actually, we are finding the Laplace transform of f of t. So what you got here, okay, you got that Laplace transform of e raised to minus at minus e raised to minus bt upon t. This is equal to log of s plus b upon s plus a. So this is how we are able to find the Laplace transform. Okay, so here what are the important steps that you need to understand? Okay, so you have to be careful for this step. Okay, do not use infinity as the limit. So this is the important step here. Okay, do not use the limit infinity directly, because once you do use the limit equal to infinity and you write log of infinity, then you will lose control over the right hand side. So you have to be very careful, and hence once you pass this and you simplify the expression properly, definitely you are able to get the correct answer. So here we got the answer. Okay, so now is there any doubt up to this? Okay, do you have any doubt up to this?
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay, great. So you are able to understand what I am simplifying, or what are the problems I am solving here, correct? Yeah, that's
Sir,
good. Yeah. Okay, so let us try uh, some more examples. Okay, or we'll go to the next property now. Okay, so what we have, the next property. So we have seen the effect of multiplication. We have seen the effect of division. Now we have to see what happens if I consider the numerator or the denominator. Okay, so let us try the numerator or denominator. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so I hope you are able to see my screen. Okay, so let us try the next property. What happens if I have the derivative? Okay, so what we have to consider, Laplace transform of derivative. We consider here Laplace transform of derivative. Okay, so as I have told you earlier that always you have to be careful. You should know the definition. In this chapter, the entire focus is on the definition of Laplace transform. So if you have understood the definition properly, then definitely you are able to prove any property. Okay, so we'll see. Let suppose I have Laplace transform of f of t, and that is going to be f bar of s. Then what will be the derivative Laplace transform of f dash of t? So this is what we want to find out. Okay. Now let us try to find this. Okay. So we go with the proof. Okay. What we have is, let Laplace transform of f of t is equal to f bar of s, and that is equal to integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st into f of t. Okay. Now we have, okay, what we want to find out? We want to find out the Laplace transform of f dash of t. So let us apply this definition. So Laplace transform of f dash of t. Okay. So this is going to be f dash of t is equal to, by definition, it is 0 to infinity e raised to minus st into f dash of t dt. So what we know is, we know the rule u into v. So what is the rule u into v? U remains as it is, the integration of v minus integration of derivative of u integration of v. So this is by parts rule. Okay, so this is integration by parts rule. Now if I use this rule here, so I need to decide what is going to be u and what is going to be v. But if I use this as u and this as v, then usually what we do is, we use exponential at the end. Okay, but if I use exponential as v here, then I have to take the derivative of u, which will be the process where this integration will not be terminated. And why we choose by parts, or how we decide this hierarchy lie. Okay, so what we decide lie. So this is going to be, at the end you will have exponential function, then you have trigonometric function, then we have algebraic function, then we have inverse trigonometric function, and then here we have the logarithm function. Okay, so this is how we consider the priority. So first priority is to logarithmic function, then inverse trigonometric function, then algebraic or polynomial function, then we have trigonometric function, and then at the end we have exponential function. But the main aim of this hierarchy is to terminate the process of integration. Why we have decided this order? To terminate the process of integration. And anything which helps us to terminate the process of integration, that we have to adopt. Fortunately, in this case, fortunately or unfortunately, in this case, this hierarchy will not work, or this order will not work, and hence we have to override this order. So I am going to consider this as u and this as v. Okay, so if you use by parts rule, So now this is what we have to use. Okay, so I have decided the term u and v now, and hence I am going to use that u and v. Okay, so if I use this as u and v, see what we get. Okay, so u as it is, correct, e raised to minus st, and integration of v. So integration of f dash is f, and the limit s to infinity minus integration 0 to infinity derivative of u, but this derivative is with respect to t, so it will be minus s e raised to minus st. Integration of v, so integration of f dash t is f of t, and that's what we get here. So here we get e raised to minus st into f of t, and the limit here is going to be 0 to infinity. So we get here 0 to infinity minus this s is free from we are integrating with respect to t, so s behaves as a constant, and hence we get here this minus minus plus s integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. Now apply the limits. Okay, so if I apply e raised to minus infinity is 0 minus, if I put 0, then I'll be having e raised to 0 is going to be 1, and here I'll get f of 0 plus this is yes. You can see this integral is what? Okay, so you can see this is what you'll be having. See, this is exactly f bar of yes, and hence I can write this as this is going to be f bar of s. Okay, so what we get here, see, we get Laplace transform of f dash of t is equal to s f bar of s minus f at 0. So this is what we are able to get here. So we are able to get the Laplace transform of derivative. So this way we are able to get the Laplace transform of derivative. So what we wanted to calculate here is Laplace transform of f dash of t is equal to s into f bar of s minus f at 0. So that's what we are able to get. Now, once you know this, next thing is, can we generalize this? Okay, so yes, we can generalize this. So next we can have, yeah, so if I consider the Laplace transform of f double dash, then we have Laplace transform of f double dash t is equal to, what is the term here we'll be getting? S square f bar of s minus s f at 0 minus f dash at 0. Okay, so actually this property is very useful in solving the differential equations. So you have solved the ordinary differential equation in same two. So this differential equations can also be solved using Laplace transform. Okay, so here we are able to get this. Now we know f bar of s, but we don't know how to get this f of 0 and f dash at 0. So what we can have is, where always this term f at 0 and f dash at 0 will be constants. Okay, so if they are given, we have to use them. If they are not given, then we can find them as, what we can have is f at 0 is equal to limit t tends to 0 f of t, and we have f dash at 0 is equal to limit t tends to 0 f dash at t. Okay, so this is how we are able to find. Okay, there is one more formula that you need to understand. Okay, so if this 0 is not a point of discontinuity, then above two formulas will work. If there is a point of discontinuity and we want to find out the limit at this point, then we have, suppose, okay, let C be the point of discontinuity. Yeah. Then we have, so what will be having, how we are able to calculate the value of f at C. So it is going to be half of limit x tends to C minus f of x plus limit x tends to C plus f of x. So we have to consider the limit approaching from the left and the limit approaching from the right, and then we have to average these two limits values, so we can have the value of the function at that point. So whenever you have C is a point of discontinuity, then we have to consider this term. Okay, so hope you are able to get this property. Okay, so are you able to get this property? Okay, that's great. Good. Now let us try example based on this. So we can have the example based on this. Okay. Now we'll see. Okay. So we'll go with the example. Find Laplace transform of find Laplace transform of, we can have this d by dt of sin t upon t. So we go with the solution. Let what we'll be having here, f of t is equal to, see this is going to be the derivative, so I can consider this as f of t. Okay, so f of t is equal to sin t upon t. Okay, and now you can have more than one properties. Okay, so let us see here what you will be having. This you have to solve in two steps. First the numerator, second is property by t, and hence we have Laplace transform of f of t. So we can have Laplace transform of sin t as 1 upon s square plus a square. A square is a is 1 here, so you can directly write 1, and this is equal to Laplace transform of sin t upon t. So this is equal to integral s to infinity, and you get here this is 1 upon s square plus 1 here, so a square is going to be 1, 1, and this is ds. And this is easy, you can get, it is going to be tan inverse of s from s to infinity. Okay, so we can apply the limits. So what you'll be having, you'll be having tan inverse of infinity minus tan inverse of s. So we got here pi by 2 minus tan inverse of s. So it is going to be cot inverse of s. So what we got? We got Laplace of f of t is equal to cot inverse of s. Let this equation 1. Okay. Now I want to find out the Laplace transform of derivative, but I don't have f of 0. So what we can do is we'll find out the f of 0. Now consider f at 0 is equal to limit. This function is a continuous function, so we can consider limit t tends to 0 f of t, and that's what you'll be having here. Limit t tends to 0 sine t upon t. So this is equal to what you will get here. There is a standard limit. Sine x upon x is going, when x tends to 0, is going to be 1, and hence we got here f of 0 is equal to 1. This is your equation 2. Okay, so I got the necessary terms which I needed here. So I can have this term is going to be f bar of s. So this is equal to f bar of s, which is equation 1, and then I got this is 2. Okay, so what we have here, we have Laplace transform of f dash of t is equal to s f bar of s minus f at 0, and hence I get here s into cot inverse of s minus 1. So we get here Laplace transform of e by dt of sine t upon t. This is equal to s cot inverse of s minus 1. Okay, so this is how we have to find the Laplace transform of derivative. Okay, so we need to be careful. You write each and every term properly, each and every step properly, and you will get the correct answer always. So I hope there is no doubt in this example. Is there any doubt? Okay, that's great. So you don't have any doubt in this example. Good. Okay. So